President Barack Obama, former US president, has warned Israel not to repeat the same mistake that the United States did after the September 9/11 attack. According to Barack Obama, Israel's blockade of electricity and water supply in Gaza will create more enemies on Israel than friends. Obama warns that Israel must respect international law and also law when it comes to war, and that Israel must also reduce humanitarian casualties, because if not, this will have a serious effect on allies and friends in Israel. And I want you to watch this a report which is coming out from a different media so that you can actually get the analysis. I bet there's something that we must note here. Barack Obama is responsible for the situation we are facing currently in Libya, because it was Barack Obama, the airstrike, together with Sarkozy, to take out Gaddafi. And Gaddafi was considered by Obama and his team as a dictator. But now Libya is worse than the days of Gaddafi. So Obama, to me, is in no moral position to talk about the aspect of respecting human laws and humanitarian laws, because Libya is it's an independent country, but that was not respected. In fact, the Geneva Convention was not also respected. So I want you to watch this report.
Our next story is about Barack Obama, the 44th President of the United States. Last evening, he made a rather interesting statement. A statement that defies America's stance on the Israel-Hamas war. How? Well, in his statement, Obama called upon Israel to limit civilian casualties, to learn from America's mistakes after 9/11, and abide by international law. He said not doing so could undermine Israel's long-term security. Let's take you through some excerpts from his statement. Number one, it states, and I'm quoting, "The Israeli government's decision to cut off food, water and electricity to a captive civilian population threatens not only to worsen a growing humanitarian crisis, it could further harden Palestinian attitudes for generations, erode global support for Israel, play into the hands of Israel's enemies, and undermine long-term efforts to achieve peace." Another telling excerpt. This one talks about America's mistakes after 9/11. It states, "America itself has at times fallen short of our higher values when engaged in war. And in the aftermath of 9/11, the US government was not interested in heeding the advice of even our allies when it came to the steps we took to protect ourselves against Al-Qaeda. The world is watching closely as events in the region unfold, and any Israeli military strategy that ignores the human costs could ultimately backfire." It's a loaded statement, and very timely too. It came right after Palestinian health authorities in Gaza released some figures. They said that at least 5,087 people have been killed in Israeli strikes. 15,273 people have been injured. What's worse, women and children make 62% of the fatalities. Besides them, at least 35 UN relief workers working with the Palestinians have also been killed. So Obama's statement has only stressed on the real cost of this war without going into the gory details. The question is he saying what the White House can't or could not? You see, from the US President to the US State Secretary to the US government officials, they've all cautioned Israel to not be blinded by rage. But the statements fall short of mentioning what's actually happening on ground in Gaza. That said, Obama's own track record doesn't really help his case. When he was running the White House, he was often accused of not fully understanding the Israel-Palestine issue. His actions didn't really lead to peace. His administration even sought but failed to broker a peace deal between Israel and Palestinians. It was only during the Trump era where there was at least a semblance of normalcy. Whatever be the case, Obama's statement may fall short of convincing Israel to change its approach in this war. Look at this post from the IDF. It says, in the last 2 weeks, Hamas has fired 6,900 rockets from Gaza at Israel. More than 450 of these rockets landed inside Israel. Besides this, more than 1,400 Israelis have been killed in these attacks, and over 200 people have been taken hostage by Hamas. Look at this video now. It shows the Chief of the General Staff of the IDF, Lieutenant General Herzi Halevi. He can be seen telling soldiers that Israel will continue its unrelenting attacks on Hamas. I'll wrap up with this.
אנחנו רוצים להביא את חמאס למקום של פירוק. את ההנהגה שלו, הזרוע הצבאית שלו, את מנגנוני העבודה שלו, ולכן אנחנו תוקפים מאוד מאוד חזק הורגים מפקדים בכירים, הורגים פעילים, משמידים תשתיות, פועלים בנחישות רבה מאוד, אבל הדרך היא דרך של התקפה מאוד נחושה, של פגיעה בחמאס בכל מקום שהוא נמצא בו ובכל דרך. תמרון בדרום